Federal Premium Ammunition, surgical precision, terminal results. Bushnell, performance is the only thing. Safari Club International Canada, first for hunters.
Hi folks, thanks for joining us here at Federal's Trigger Effect. This week we are hunting once again with Redman Trophy big game hunts, and we're going to pursue some big giant bull elk.
You know what, Kent? I was born and raised in British Columbia, and ever since I've been young with my dad and my grandfather, we hunted elk. And to be able to come here to Saskatchewan and hunt with our good friend Kelly again, I am really jacked about it. And I know just even arriving here, we could hear bulls screaming off in the distance.
You bet, the rut's kicking in, the bulls are bugling, so let's get out there and see how this all plays out.
Kent and I had arrived a day early. Kelly and his son asked us if we wanted to go out for an evening scout to maybe locate a bull or two for the morning's hunt. It wasn't long before we came across this bull enjoying a drink and a wallow on the edge of the prairie slough. We noticed he had an antler deformity on the one side. He also had enough of us and decided to escape by a nice afternoon swim. Besides hearing the bulls bugling, it wasn't hard to tell that we hit the rut head on. The sign was everywhere. It literally looked like a war zone. As the evening wore on, Kelly notified us of a small slough that the elk like to use for wallowing. He said it might be good for us to sit there and see if anything comes in. It wasn't long before this young bull came in and gave us quite a show. Towards last light, Kelly took us to an area he knew a massive 6-point royal bull liked to hang out. We were hoping to spot him in the area so we'd have a game plan for the morning. Just as light was dwindling, we caught the big boy crossing an opening. Kelly did not disappoint. What a monster.
Well, here we are. We're elk hunting in Saskatchewan with Kelly and Redman Big Game Trophy Hunts. So what kind of hunt are we going to be doing this morning?
We're just going to try spotting and stalking this morning. We can hear a few bulls going off here and there. There's a couple of wallows down here we want to check out and just kind of see if we can locate something that's decent. We saw a few smaller bulls there, but look for something a little bit bigger this morning.
Bigger.
Yeah.
He says smaller bulls. I'm just like, pull the trigger, pull the trigger. But anyways, let's get going.
Okay.
So we just rounded this corner and there's a bull right out in the middle. And he's really, really nice on one side, but he's kind of weird on the other side. So I think we're just gonna watch him, but we're gonna let this one pass. But absolutely stunning looking elk. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the topography here, get up on some high ground so we can kind of get a look and see what's around in the area. We can hear elk bugling all around us, but we're gonna get up higher.
This segment is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition, Surgical Precision, Terminal Results.
Well, Kelly came up here, he knew this wallow was here. We're tracking to see if there's any fresh tracks. The only thing we can see is fresh coyote tracks. Actually, the elk haven't been there in a bit, so we're going to continue on up on some ridges, do some glassing, see if we can lay some eyes on a big bull elk. Pretty amazing though, but very smelly. I need a bigger gun. It's kind of funny, you just walk around, you find these random spots where they're really tearing it up, but like Kelly said, it's like sandpaper. This is where they get those really beautiful ivory tips. And boy, I'll tell you, they sure tear up ground, don't they?
They're destructive.
They're like gardeners. Not good ones though.
So it looks like there's about 4 bulls working their way back up into the back.
Into here.
Yeah, that north slope there. Kind of late bedders. A lot of them are down, but it looks like those 4 are moving back up here. If we can get ahead of them and catch them, maybe we can get a look at them before they get into that heavy.
That's a heck of a distance.
Yeah, because we got to go down and up and around.
I can shoot, but not that good.
You have to pull a Quigley on that one.
Oh yeah, definitely be a Quigley down under. Okay, that sounds
they're
like
still calling.
Yeah, you can hear it just. Huh?
Well, let's poke down there and
Let's
see
poke down there. So we're just working our way over to another wallow and we just bumped a really nice bull. But no shot opportunity, but just a big clean looking bull. That's pretty exciting. I didn't expect him there. So what's the plan?
Well, he went down into this backside here. They like to bury themselves in here, so we'll go down. There's a good heavy elk trails going through here, and they're pretty quiet.
Okay.
We're just gonna poke through here and just see what's going on.
Okay.
And come out down in the bottom valley and just see what's in there, I guess.
Yeah, because I got quick eyes on him, but he had like that typical beautiful big wide elk frame, heavy, really, really pretty looking animal.
Good. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, he's just faster than us.
Yeah. Everything's faster.
Everything's faster than us.
This might be a great spot tonight too. This wallow's very active.
Well, Kelly, that was an absolutely amazing morning. I mean, we got out, stretched the legs, we saw some elk, but I think it's coffee time.
I think so. We can't quite close the gap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I've discovered that I cannot keep up to an elk.
They got long legs.
Every time I think we're closing distance, you see them off in the distance even further. And but that was still exhilarating, and we saw some great bulls this morning.
Yeah. If we hadn't got high centered on some of that deadfall, I think we would have been okay.
I'm just not built for speed. We just got to face it. Well, let's go get some coffee.
Okay.
Taxidermy services provided by Hunters Union and Ray Wiens Taxidermy. And thanks to these other fine sponsors.
Well, we just finished having coffee and a bit of a break, and we were on our way out to go look at a glassing point, and we caught a younger bull elk that's bedded down about maybe 70 yards from us. Really, really cool, but you can tell he's got thinner diameter. It's not what we're looking for, but it's still neat to see these guys in the wild.
Well, I want to take a little bit of a break here from our elk hunting. You know, you always hear people talking about we're going elk hunting, but the reality is the elk family is comprised of a few species, and that's a great topic for this week's Lethbridge College's Conservation Connection.
Elk, wapiti, or Wawaskasu, as they're known in the Plains Cree dialect spoken through much of Saskatchewan, refers to the North American form of the red deer.
Rocky Mountain elk are also known around the world as wapiti, and this is derived from the First Nations name, which translates into white rump.
The species name is Cervus elephas, and within North America, this species is split into 4 subspecies of extant, that is still living, varieties of elk. Over the entire globe, there are 22 subspecies of elk. In general, subspecies of elk are distinguished by body size, pelage color, skull form and dentition, size and shape of antlers, behavior, and their geographical distribution. In North America, we have Rocky Mountain elk, Cervus elephas nelsoni, that were originally found around their namesake mountain range, but are now transplanted to other locations in North America as well. The Rocky Mountain elk have the largest antlers of all 4 subspecies. Roosevelt's elk, or Roosevelt's elk, Cervus elephas roosevelti.
Roosevelt elk, which are also known as Olympic elk, were actually one of the founding species of the conservation movement in North America that started in Olympic National Park in the United States, thanks to the US President Theodore Roosevelt.
Which range over the coastal Pacific Northwest, are the largest in body size, but not antler size, of the 4 elk subspecies. A big bull Roosevelt's elk may weigh up to 900 pounds, with cows closer to 600 pounds. Contrast these largest of the subspecies with the Tule elk, Cervus elephas nenotes, the smallest of the elk subspecies.
Tule elk actually get their name from a freshwater sedge that comprises up a major portion of their diet.
With Tule bulls on the hoof weighing closer to 400 pounds and cows down around 300 pounds. The final extant subspecies of North American elk is the Manitoban elk, Cervus elephas manitobensis, which resides in the northern Great Plains. Although there are phenotypic variations, that is, differences in the way they appear, between this and other subspecies, a further genetic analysis by Poltzine and others found evidence that Rocky Mountain elk and Manitoban elk should be combined into one subspecies. For all living North American elk, it is likely that these different subspecies will interbreed where they coexist. Further, relocation efforts may continue to introduce the various subspecies outside of their original ranges and further complicate the subspecies concept.
Well, so what we're doing is we're gonna sit over a wallow hole. We did bump something out of here, but you can see there's been fresh wallowing activity. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a sit and see if anything comes in. We did notice some poles moving across the valley, so it's looking really good. We're gonna have a change of weather. We're hoping that makes them move earlier. It's called the Buffalo Fu Manchu. Well, we sat there for about 2.5 hours and we started hearing some bugling. We didn't have anything come in, but we got to move because the wind's totally done a shift on us. It's now blowing our scent right into the wallow, so we're going to relocate, maybe move towards where we heard some of the bugling and see if we can get in on some of these bulls.
This segment is brought to you by King's Camo. See the difference. Now, back to Bushnell's Trigger Effect.
Well, that was quite a bull.
Yeah, that's a good looking bull.
Yeah. We, as you can tell, we've got a weather system moving in. The wind's really picked up, but we spotted a really good bull down below here. So I think we're gonna go try and make a move on him.
The wind's in our favor, the sun is at our back, and I think we can slide in there as long as we don't bump any other elk and spook him out.
Okay.
He looks like he's in a wallow, so.
Okay, good. Well, off we go.
Okay.
As we approached the area we last saw the bull, we decided to mask up. As we started to look over the wallow, the bull all of a sudden appeared in the opening to the right of us. He was on the move.
You did her.
That was incredible, Kel. Good heavens.
All right.
Look at this bull.
You bet.
You know, Kelly, we've hunted with you a few times now, and the one thing I gotta say, and Kent and I use a lot of different gear, but these Primo shooting sticks are almost essential for any hunter.
They are, aren't they?
Oh, I mean, here we are, wide open field with nothing but grass. And I mean, that's not a huge poke, but boy, I'll tell you, your confidence really goes up when you have these sticks.
Solid, right?
Yeah. Bro. Oh my. That is a stud elk. Holy, look at the size of him. Well, end of the hunt, and what an end to an absolutely amazing story, Kelly. Like, that was incredible.
It was neat. It was neat how it built up. There was a lot of younger bulls and stuff, and then we come across this guy. And
well, and you had to kind of convince me a few times. You're like, oh, it's a younger bull, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice bull, it's a nice bull. And you kept saying, no, I know there's some better ones. And
yeah.
And it was incredible the way it all played out. You know, the right from arriving to scouting. I mean, the one thing I have to say is your outfit gives a full experience. It's not just about coming out and getting an elk, but you know, the meals, the family-like atmosphere, and I think it's one of the reasons Kent and I are one of our favorite outfitters because of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, Dean, it was sure a pleasure to be a cameraman for you on this hunt. I mean, this was quite the experience.
You know, there's these hunts, like we hunt all over the world, and there's hunts we have every once in a while that leave you speechless. And I have to honestly admit, this one leaves me speechless for many reasons. One, I mean, look at this animal. Like, what an absolutely incredible animal.
Beautiful.
It was a real pleasure hunting him. But, you know, also too, Kelly has been a huge supporter of our show for many years. And every time we come here, it's like hunting with family. And I know that's not unique to you and I. Kelly does that with every client. And, you know, I just want to say that, you know, it is magnificent that I hunted this, but it was even more magnificent that I could hunt it with family like Kelly and you know, his kids and his wife. I don't want to speak anymore. My emotions throughout this episode, standing by this big boy, that's enough said.
You bet. We also want to thank, along with Kelly, we want to thank our sponsors that make all this happen. We want to thank you, the viewers, for joining us, and make sure you come back next week for more Federal's Trigger Effect.
This has been a Thunder Boys production.